Hey, what's going on? So I got another video coming. Basically, I picked up something pretty cool that I hope is going to be cool. Although I messed up and I had the camera on hyperlapse. So unfortunately, you can't hear any of the bumbling through words that I do through my videos, acting like an idiot, getting all frustrated and stuff. But I figure I'm just going to do a voiceover, and hopefully you guys like it. So this is what I got. Let me flip around the camera. And this is what we're doing. So I decided to go with a quad lock, and I wanted to go with the wireless charger option, with the idea of, less cords and less hassle, but inevitably this has its own cord. So I routed it in a way where it looks pretty decent. You can still see it, but it looks decent. And this is a pretty cool product. I hope it keeps up with the phone, because the phone does eat up a lot of juice. But I'm excited to try it out, because I have to be different, and I have a Samsung flip phone, so most phone holders don't work. So I had to do something different, and luckily I found someone on Etsy that makes a quad lock phone cover case for my particular phone. So that's why I went with this. So hope you enjoy the video. All right, here we go. So what I'm doing right here is I'm kind of showing you where it's going to go. I've already routed the wire down through the risers. Kind of jumped the gun on that one. I was a little excited to put this on the bike. And that's me kind of explaining that I have the accessory plugs for the Harley, so I can do 3 added accessories and run power to them. And then I just showed off some really cool auto connectors that I bought on Amazon. And I made a 2-wire harness to run it back from one of the accessory plugs. I elected to go from the back to the front with its own harness instead of running the quad lock wire all the way back, because if I ever decided to change anything in the future, I can just easily unplug it from the front and then plug in whatever I put up front. So, taking off the seat, and next we're going to be taking off the outer fairing, which is super easy. A little bit of a pain, but it is super easy. I've done this so many times, it is annoying at this point. But what I'm trying to do is get to the wiring behind the headlight. Okay, now we're looking in there. Now I have the bright idea of trying to run that 2-wire harness, trying to get it super clean to run along with all the other wires that are going through the frame. So that's me kind of explaining that I want to try to run it through that wire loom and through the frame, and I'm realizing that I'm going to have to take off the gas tank. So that's what I'm doing. And remember, always make sure you have a full tank of gas when you take off the gas tank. It really helps, makes it a lot lighter, and makes it more fun to get the gas tank off. Because remember, the theme of my channel is do everything the hard way, and that's the way we like to do it. So that's me kind of showing off a different option than I did for the wiring for my ultra cool oil cooler. I went along the top of the frame and ran it along the brake lines, and so that eventually will be my option that I go with, because as you can see right here, I hate messing with that grommet. I pulled it off. I tried to run a snake through, or not a snake, try to run some wire through, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work because I encountered a blockage in the middle of the frame. I tried to do it from the front, I tried to do it from the back. It's not going to work. So I gave up. I was really sad, and so I decided to start running the wire along the other wire that I ran along top of the frame. So that's what we're doing, is we're just going to follow the path of the other wire. We're going to zip tie it all down and make it look a little, ghetto clean. It's a little ghetto, but try to keep it clean. Although the ghetto part of it is didn't have any black shrink tubing at the time for that size wire, so I went with white, which was kind of dumb. But I get even more ghetto, and I realize right there when it comes out the frame it's still white. So what I'm going to do is put some black loom on it. And I have some black shrink tubing that I will shrink tube the loom onto the wire harness. And then this is me fumbling with that stupid freaking grommet. I hate that thing. It's such a pain in the ass to get it reseated because I had to run the loom through the grommet to make it look nice and clean, and it's really tight right there, so that thing does not seat properly. So it took me quite a few minutes to mess with that. That's the loom that I am doing right there. We are going to be putting that on. Now, I must say, the way I did this was a little genius. I've never seen videos or known how to do it. I just kind of came up with the idea myself. Even though I should have ran it for the full length of the harness, I didn't. I just did it right there, so it's underneath the tank. You can't really see it where it starts. And, you know, out of sight, out of mind. It's going to work. It's going to be great. That's all that I care about. So now we're just running the wire down the brake lines. Going to do some more zip ties. Can never do enough zip ties. And we are going to run it through along the bottom of that other harness. And it's going to pop it out through the fairing bracket. And that's me kind of showing the way that I ran it with those super cool auto connectors, and I'm going to put the tank back on. Now, if I can give you a piece of advice, just put a little rag underneath the tank before you disconnect the gas line. It did drip a little bit of gas, and you definitely don't want that going on any part of the engine. It will mess up the paint. So, little tip, little hack right there. Okay, so that is the front of the wire harness. Now, I'm probably going to go back in and shorten the wire from the quad lock charger. I just did the full length of the wire. I thought, oh, maybe down the line if I sell it or whatever, it's still the full length. That was kind of stupid, even though I just kind of bunched it up and stuck it in there, and it's fine, but I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of it. Well, hopefully not. I mean, I'm hoping the charger will last and it works great, and that's just what I will use. But I just left it long, kind of stupid. But now right here is I'm putting on crimping on the connectors for the end of the 2-wire harness that I made. These things are so cool. I love them. They look clean. And I just feel like it's a great option so that I can plug and play anything that I want into it. Now we're just adding on the connector. The pins are seated. Done. Alright, now we're working on the quad lock wire. I'm going to crimp on the pins for that. Boom, boom, boom. You can get these on Amazon, as I mentioned before. It's a really good price. You can get the crimper on Amazon. I highly recommend. I also use the soldered connectors or whatever, the heat shrink with the solder in them. Those are really cool too. And then I'm just kind of shrinking on the tubing. Look at that giant bunch of wire that looks kind of ghetto. Of course, more zip ties. Plug it all together, stick it in there, zip tie it to some other wire, and more zip tying, and done. So I'm just kind of showing you where the wire is going through the risers, and that's that. So we're going to put the outer fairing back on. Getting late at this point. I just came from the gym. I didn't eat anything, so I'm freaking dying at this point, starving out of my mind, and I just want to get it done. Checking everything, make sure everything works, because when you mess with any kind of wiring harness for that, something can get unplugged, wire can get pinched, so I always double check, turn everything on, make sure everything works, that I don't have any issues. And all is good. Alright, and there it is. Boom! Another day. Alright, so I had to wait for that to come in. That took a while to come in. Actually, no, I had that. It was the vibration dampener that took forever to come in, so I had to kind of wait. So now I'm putting on the actual arm that clamps onto the bar, to the handlebars. So we're just tossing that on, and I'm trying to get the angle of the dangle right there. And we're throwing that on. I'm just double checking to make sure everything's good, tightening it up. And there's the vibration dampener that flashed by the screen real quick. Threw that on. Now we are bolting on the actual charger itself. I'm just determining which way I want the wire. Trying to see which way would look best, the cleanest. I decided to have the wire come up to the top. And there it is. Bada bing, bada boom. Phone is on, phone is charging, it holds it on, and it looks really good. Hope you enjoy the video, and I recommend the quad lock charger.